If you enjoy the content, I would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and checking out my socials. Heroic has been a top team for a while, but since that special spark at the Rio Major, they have shot up the rankings as a real contender and proved it in their home country in Denmark at Blast. Nuke is their best map, and defending their A bomb site are two versatile players, either young or a veteran in Heroic. Hey, I'm Smirky, and today I want to look at both Yabi and Sjuush and how they defend Hut on the CT side of Nuke, so let's begin. Now for some quick context. Typically Sjuush and Yabi will play positions of spawns. So if Yabi has the closest spawn to A, he will hold Squeaky and Sjuush will hold Hut. I won't be breaking down how they play towards Squeaky, as I already broke that down in the past in this refresh video. And lastly, it's worth noting, the Hut player will generally play towards this area, whereas the Squeaky player plays here. Just so you know. Now let's begin at the start. At the start of the round, the Hut players will need to decide if they want to stay towards Heaven or drop down onto the site. By staying on Heaven, you do have quicker rotations to outside and ramp if they need help. However, you are more prone to flashbangs on A, making it difficult to help your A player. So most commonly, we're going to see these Hut players drop down onto the site. When you jump down onto the site, it's important that you are looking down and obviously hugging this yellow plate as you fall down. By looking down, you'll reduce the chance of you getting flashbanged and make it easier to defend against an A rush. And of course, landing on the yellow plate just takes less fall damage. Once Sjuush jumps down, he generally doesn't Molotov early towards Hut. As we can see in this round, his teammate Yabi already threw a HE into Hut. So in this round, he's going to be jiggling for a few seconds, spotting for any players. He's going to throw a HE, potentially damaging any players waiting outside of Hut for an execute, or a peek into the site. However, in this round, Heroic lose two of their players, meaning Sjuush needs to rotate to fill in the gaps. Round 18 is a really good showcase of how the Squeaky and Hut player work together. Typically at the start of the round, the Squeaky player and Sjuush will throw a Molotov onto door and a HE onto Hut. Meanwhile, Yabi will jump down, play an anti, and then jiggling for information. In this round, he decides to save his HE and jiggles for a very long time. However, when Fury have access to Secret, Yabi needs to rotate down, so he will Molotov Hut and start making moves. There was also some rounds where both the Squeaky and Hut player will double nade Hut together, and this could make an early A rush fall arse first on its back. So in this round we're going to see something similar. Yabi is going to be the Hut player, Sjuush does his util, but instead of jiggling with a Molotov, we're going to see Sjuush is going to throw a HE straight away, again getting ready to damage any players waiting outside of Hut. And at this point he can just jiggle as normal with his Molotov. Something pretty spicy if you're expecting an A rush. Now, as mentioned at the start of this section, typically the Hut player will typically jump down defending the site. However, there are a few occasions where the Hut player will play towards Heaven. In round 21, Sjuush is going to be the Hut player, and since he decides to play towards Heaven, he has a quicker rotation onto ramp if they need his help. However, he is more vulnerable to flashbangs from the skylights, making it more difficult for him to help against an A execute. However, Sjuush is going to switch it up and throw a Molotov early, and I'm not too sure if this is in reaction to something, or if he just wants to use it early to switch things up. But after the Molotov, he's going to throw his HE, and this is a pretty good lineup if you still want to double nade Hut. But once he's thrown that HE, you can see straight after he's going to play anti-flash just in case they decided to flash out. But in this round, he's not going to get any contact. Now in this round, Sjuush again is going to be the Hut player. However, in this round, Yabi will be defended Squeaky from main. Since Yabi can't Molotov Squeaky early, and Sjuush doesn't have a Molotov, he's going to be diligent enough and throw smoke onto door, denying vision. Now let's take a look at some positions you can play if you're kind of playing for yourself and not in a setup. One of the most common positions I've seen from every Hut player in the competitive scene is playing towards the site. In this round, Sjuush can use the site to jiggle for information and play behind it. However, in this round, he will later need to rotate. But in round 26 from Yabi's POV, we can see he's going to do just that, jiggling towards the site with a Molotov, and at times Heroic may keep this Molotov around the 1 minute mark, and will generally only use it if they need to, like in this round. As in this round, Farlig is throwing util through the skylights and Yabi can hear it. As a result, he's going to throw a Molotov directly in front of the door, damaging and slowing down the T's. Now at this point, Yabi needs to fight and use the site to his advantage. Since Yabi turned away and then looked towards the site, not being open to any flashbangs, he has vision to take on the T's. Now generally when the T's are entering onto the site, they will generally try to sandwich the A player by sending one through Tetris and one through the back of the site. And depending on the team, their pathings may differ, depending on where they want to go first, but it will generally be this idea. So in this round, we can see Yabi is going to peek out towards the hut and get the kill onto Mister. Once he's cleared the front of the site, he can then look behind him and get the kill onto Glaive. And as a result, he does a fantastic job in getting 2 kills before he goes down and delaying the push, allowing the rotations to come in. Now there was also a round where I saw Sjuush jiggle with a smoke. In this round he isn't going to use it, but I assume he would throw it. But I assume soon as he spots a T in hut, he will bounce it off this wall to land in the entrance of hut, denying off vision and allowing him to play around it. Or he could also use a smoke to put out the Molotov if it lands at his feet. Another spot I saw one of the hut players play is on top of the site. Now generally this position isn't as common, as you're completely open to the flashbangs, but it's a pretty powerful position, as you can spot the T's legs, but the T's may struggle to fight back, giving you the advantage. And this is a bonus position I didn't spot any of the Heroic players use, but I think it's pretty decent. If you're playing towards the site, of course you can play towards the left side, where you can hold the gap towards hut, and try to use the site to block out the flashbangs. And the last position I want to show is towards the rafters. Typically when the hut players want to play as a rotator, they will play towards the rafters, spotting towards hut. In this round we can see Yabi is going to position himself so he can catch the T's running out, but is completely vulnerable to the flashbangs. But soon right after, he's going to reposition himself above the site so he can do this little jiggle. And I think this jiggle is pretty effective. As for a T, it can be hard to pre-aim you, especially when you're moving back and forth with such a little gap to work with. Now let's take a look at some setups you can use with your teammates. And these are generally better to use than using solo positions or playing for yourself, as you could set up a really strong crossfire or have the opportunity to play back and forth for your teammate. Our first setup is going to come from this rafter position. In this round, Yabi is going to be jiggling towards hut, and Stan is going to move to no man's land. First of all, Yabi can gain quick information and fall off if he needs to, and Stan is playing an off angle, which the T's won't be expecting. If Yabi suddenly gets contact from hut, Stan should be able to assist, and again, they may not be ready for him. But in this round, Farlig is going to Molotov the site, and has a defensive counter. He will use his own for the hut entrance. But they later find out it's just a ruse and they're going down secret. Our next setup will be CT vents and hut. In this round, both players have both positions covered, and if Sjuush gets contact, he can get the first kill. They'll likely swing out hut to try and kill Sjuush, and Yabi should be able to assist. And if they came through Squeaky, again, they can play back and forth. However, it is worth noting from Yabi's POV, if you do get flashbanged, I highly recommend getting into this corner, so you're tucked away from Squeaky, and you can kill players running out of hut. Lastly, another setup you can use is this hut one. In this round, they do have an extra player in Cadian, however, if Cadian wasn't there, this setup will still be great. As in this round, Sjuush is looking towards main, making sure no one can come out. And because of his crosshair positioning, he can also catch players running out of Squeaky. Hence why I say Cadian isn't massively needed. And of course, you have Yabi and hut close with an MP9, so if Yabi gets contact, Shush can easily swing to assist. But it's worth noting if you are playing as Shush, you don't want to make yourself visible to the hut entrance or, well, you're going to get picked off before you have a chance in the fight. Now, when you're playing towards A, I would say Squeaky is one of the most important choke points to hold, as you could give the T's access to go down vents and create chaos. Due to this, you will see from every team that they're wanting to resmoke Squeaky whenever there's a gap. So here are some nice lineups you can use. In this round, Yabi is playing towards the back of the site, and when Squeaky needs to be resmoked, he'll stand towards the left side of the site, aim at this point, and jump throw, denying Squeaky vision and allowing him to go down vents. Another lineup you could use from site is this one, where if you put your back towards the corner, aim towards the top left of this box and jump throw, again you will smoke off Squeaky. And if you're playing towards the rafters or acting as a rotator, this is very useful for you to throw before you rotate away. Simply stand in this corner, aim towards the corner of this box, and jump throw. Now, after watching both Yabi's and Shush's demos on Nuke A, I've noticed that the pair are reactive. The setups and utility used by Heroic are dependent on their reactions. So for example, if they need to go down lower, they'll molly hut. They're versatile. Since both players are consistently switching roles, they need to be familiar with both sides of A to reduce the chance of any weak spots. And lastly, they need to be talkative. As both players are switching roles and need to be reactive with what the T's throw at them, it's important they have good communication to avoid any unnecessary hiccups. Apart from that, thanks for watching. Your CT Inferno A is boring. Check out this video I did about Vitality's triple nades for second mid. Apart from that, thanks for watching. See you in a bit.